So is Bigfoot really in Georgia? Let's dive into it.
Welcome to Rolling with T-Bone presents the cryptids of North America. I hope you enjoy.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Cryptids of North America. I'm your host, T-Bone. As we're out here on a very windy day in November, this might not be the best time to shoot this, but I'm going to shoot it and see how it turns out. But anyway, today, guys, we're talking about the Georgia Bigfoot. Now, this is going to be the first regular episode of Cryptids of North America as part of the Rolling with T-Bone moto vlog lineup. If you are new here, I'll take a second to tell you, if you just found us, this is the cryptids portion of the Rolling with T-Bone channel. I am typically a moto blogger. I do shoot now cryptid content, and this is episode 1, and I thought where better to start than right here at home in Georgia. So kick back, relax, check out this episode, and then after you finish watching this episode, dive back into some of the other episodes. You'll find that there was a series done throughout the entire month of October of Cryptids in North America. And then check out some of my regular moto vlogs too. And if you think I'm right for you, maybe consider giving a like, subscribe, and share it to all your friends. But for now, let's talk about the big guy here in the state of Georgia. All right, so why is the Georgia Bigfoot so important? Why is the North Georgia Bigfoot so important? You know, I've heard people explain away Bigfoot sightings in just about any which way you can imagine. And for 60 years, we have had sightings reported of Bigfoot. There's been footage caught, there's been photos taken, there's been stories shared from one community to the next. But I always hear the naysayers say, well, it's just rednecks in the woods drinking, they're shooting, they're guns, they're hunting. You can make that claim and you can try to explain things away. But what if it comes from a little bit more reputable source? So if you jump into the time machine and you go back to the 5th month, the 15th day of 2009 in North Georgia, just outside of Helen, Georgia, you run across an encounter that was so important that it launched an entire new television series. On Animal Planet, there was a television series called Finding Bigfoot. Season 1, episode 1 was filmed in North Georgia, and it was filmed here for a very special reason. Because like I said, all of the other stuff that you could explain away, when it comes from this type of source, it's a little bit harder to explain it away. That source being Bigfoot crossed from left to right in front of a state trooper dash cam. And this footage went viral, it became important, and it launched a whole television series. So this night, it was about 11 o'clock, and a state trooper had a lady in the car with him. Her name was Mary Scott. She was the passenger in the car the night that this Bigfoot showed up on the dash cam. So when it comes from a state trooper, it's harder to dismiss. But I'll tell you what, guys, 2009, that's been a few years ago now. But let's jump on the bike, dive into it, and see what we can figure out. All right, guys, as we roll out on Big Papa, the Georgia Bigfoot, North Georgia Bigfoot, guys, that was an interesting piece of footage I found. I had remembered, of course, 2009. That's you know, a few years ago now. Hard to think that. It's hard to think 2009's 14 years ago, or 14 years ago. But anyway, it's hard to think that it was that long ago, because you have to admit then, when you admit that it's that far away, you have to admit that you're getting old, and you don't like doing that. So, but anyway, the timing for new people that you have found us. If you have just now found us, as I said at the opening, welcome in. And for our regular people who are here all the time, then you are here for the first regular episode of Cryptids of North America. Exciting times, guys, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of knew that I wanted to lead off this new series with the Georgia Bigfoot, being as how I'm right here in North Georgia where this sighting happened. I'm, you know, less than 2 hours away from where that sighting was had. Probably coming up next, I don't know, it'll probably be, I'm really wanting to cover the skunk ape, but the skunk ape is going to take a little time to research because there's a lot of information with the skunk ape. But anyway, we'll get around to it. But the Georgia Bigfoot, North Georgia, now this happened outside of Helen, Georgia. And, you know, as I said, you can kind of dismiss, you know, the rednecks in the woods with the guns. Yeah, they saw a bear, or they misidentified a bear, or this or that. But when you get into the, hey, this is coming from people who are trained, and police officers, just like military, especially state patrol, they are trained to see everything going on around them. They are trained to observe. They are trained to make notes of certain things in their mind. Meaning it is harder to fool them than it would be the average person. You know, that's why, you know, police officers, when they pull you over and you've been at the bar drinking, I've only had 2 beers, officer. Honestly, it was just 2 drinks. They know. They're trained to know. They know before you even say anything. They know what's going on. You know, are your eyes pinned? What's the smell? Are you slurred? You know, the field sobriety test at the time that, you know, when they pull you over and they give you the field sobriety test, at that point, it's just a confirmation even to yourself that maybe you're a little bit too drunk to drive. But, you know, police officers are trained to observe. They're trained to take mental notes, like I said. But more importantly than all that, they're trained not to be deceived. That is what gives this, for me, such validity, is that you are dealing with people, meaning the police officers, who is not trained to be deceived. They are trained to not be deceived, I should say. So when you add that up and you take in all of those things and you break it down to this is just the facts, well, it starts looking like a pretty valid case. Now, this television show, I've watched several of the episodes in the past, but like I said, the Georgia Bigfoot launched the entire series. Season 1, episode 1 was the North Georgia Bigfoot. This television series called Finding Bigfoot. Which at the time this television series was shot was actually ran by a guy named Matt Moneymaker. So it was Animal Planet in the early 2000s, and Animal Planet and the History Channel were running the show. The Travel Channel really hadn't gotten established, but man, at this time, Discovery Channel, History Channel, and Animal Planet were pretty well much dominating the airwaves as far as all this stuff goes. But, you know, to be able to go out, and I mean, Bobo was all over this country, guys. He was in the Pacific Northwest. He was in California. He was in the middle of the country. He was in the Northeast, Georgia, Florida. Bobo was everywhere. And you often hear his name articulated in such high regard because Bobo was just a very genuine human being. And if you don't know who Bobo is, just Google Bobo Faye, F-A-Y-E, Bobo Faye, and just check out some of his Bigfoot research. I mean, Bobo was on top of it. So what got me excited about this when I first saw it, of course, it being the Georgia Bigfoot, going by my experience that I had had. Now, up to this time, guys, I hadn't had, in 2009, I hadn't had my second experience yet. I was still living off the one I had when I was a teenager. So, but it got me excited because you were living in the South in a time when you had two outcomes in talking about cryptids, paranormal, ufology. You had very much the old guard was still in charge because there was a stigma attached to it. If you talked about Bigfoot, you ran the risk of being made fun of, becoming a pariah, if you will. People would laugh at you, and it would be, you know, a running joke that everything you saw from then on was going to be Bigfoot. So it was very much taboo. It was very much a stigma. And then you had the second part of that, which was the old guard, meaning the old timers did not talk about these things. Now, there are stories, and you can get into the YouTube universe and go down the wormhole and rabbit hole, whatever hole you want to call it, and you can find all kinds of stories from the Appalachian Mountains, guys. But this particular story happened in the Cohutta Wilderness. Now, the Cohutta Wilderness spans 3 states. It is 1 million acres of dense forest, guys. So this happened right outside of Helen, Georgia. The police dash cam caught it. The officer turned around and went back, got out of his car with flashlight and gun drawn, and couldn't see what it was. So the reason I got so excited about this, it was, you know, going on my experience that I had had, I kind of felt like I was alone in the experience, if that makes sense. It was like, you know, this happened to me, but yeah, but has it happened to anybody else? Am I the only one who has possibly seen this thing? But you fast forward a few years later, and man, there are tons of stories, guys. And I mean tons of stories. Literally, you can stay on YouTube all day long just watching videos. In Georgia. So you fast forward now to all these years later, and now North Georgia, just outside of Fannin County and Gemmer County on 515, we now have the Bigfoot Museum, which I have a planned trip there. At some point, we're going to go there, hopefully, and be able to do an interview and do some video in there. I haven't reached out to them yet because right now is their busy time. I know Thanksgiving and Christmas is coming up. Oh, and let me say this, I would be remiss. Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans out there. Thank you guys for your service. You know, here at Rolling with T-Bone, we support our veterans. So thank you for your service. I hope your day was wonderful. I hope you was able to do what you wanted to do and be able to enjoy it. So thank you. Thank you for your service. Yeah, man, love our veterans. But anyway, getting back to the topic, the Georgia Bigfoot, to me, being caught on the dash cam, and I am going to try to put some of that footage in this video somewhere. You have a very credible witness. There's no, you know, and I say that on Mary, who was in the car with the state trooper. You have 2 people that, in sharing this and in sharing the video, because this happened in 2009, and it did not, the video never even got released to the public until 2011, when the Animal Planet sent Finding Bigfoot there to shoot the episode. There was no upshot. There was no seeking 15 minutes of fame. There was no, you know, we're going to be on talk shows. There was none of that. There was no upshot to saying that they had had this experience. They were both adamant that it was not a bear. And very interestingly, in this episode, all right, I see you. Stay on, yeah, good boy. You stayed off the road. Good doggy. You just wanted me to see you. But, squirrel. But in this episode, the BFRO actually debunks that it was a man in a gorilla suit by having Bobo reenact it. And I will try to put up a clip of the side-by-side reenactment. But yeah, you know, the Bigfoot in Georgia was it was groundbreaking at the time, and what it allowed was people in Georgia, such as myself, who had only talked in hushed tones and whispers about Bigfoot and about anything really. It don't necessarily have to be about Bigfoot, but you only talked in hushed tones and whispers. It allowed us to be able to say, see, we're not alone. We're not hallucinating. We're not misidentifying. We're not, you know, we're not having all these delusions. We're actually seeing something. And that makes you feel good when there's more people out there. And, you know, I'm sure over the course of time, in this series, I'm going to be able, hopefully, to talk to other people who have had experiences. Hopefully be able to share, because it's not just going to be me on the motorcycle talking most of the time. I am wanting to get with other people who have experiences to maybe do interviews with them. I'm going to, guys, I've got a million ideas for this series rushing through my head as we speak. There's so many things I want to do with this series that it has completely reignited my passion for shooting these motovlogs, for working with the camera, period. I'm starting to get outside of my comfort zone, which was huge. But like I said, I've got a million ideas now, and my mind is racing so hard, it's hard to get it all put into place where it needs to be. It's a jigsaw puzzle right now laying on a table with 3,000 pieces that I've got to get put together. But the realization that you're not alone in what you saw, that there are folks out there who have in fact seen what you saw, and they are willing to talk about it. That's huge. That is huge. Because, like I said, you know, when I was a kid, you didn't talk about such things. And I really believe that there are members of my family, like my dad. I do believe my dad had some kind of experience. Because I have said this before in other episodes, my dad, grown man, was scared of the dark. And he was scared of one particular cemetery. He wouldn't even walk past it at nighttime. But I do believe he had experiences, but at that time it was taboo to talk about it. You just didn't discuss it, because by discussing it, you welcomed it in. You opened yourself up to it, is how they felt about it. But you know, I know that there are a lot of people who do misidentify. I get that. Because like Renee from the television show said, if you go into the woods looking for it, you're most likely going to find it, whether it be in a tree falling over. Turkey. Y'all better hide. It's getting close to Turkey Day. Whether it be a tree, or a snapping of a branch, or a weird sound, you're automatically going to attribute that to what you're looking for. And that's very true. That's very true. But you also get to this point to where, you know, it's kind of like that old saying, sometimes a tree is a tree. Sometimes a Sasquatch is a Sasquatch. Sometimes a bump in the night is a Sasquatch. Sometimes a shadow on the ground is a Sasquatch. So that's where I'm at with this series, is I'm not wanting, and I've said this in the other episodes, but for the newer folks here, I'll say it again, I'm not wanting to convince you of anything. What I'm doing is I'm presenting the evidence that I have available to me. And I'm just telling you about cool stories that I want you to research for yourself. Because, and I would be doing an injustice to my channel if I didn't say this. The feedback that I have gotten off of this series that I did for Halloween has been phenomenal. You guys really seem to genuinely be enjoying this. You know, and like I said, with the Halloween cryptid series that I did, which turned out to be, there's 5 cryptids and then there's 7 episodes. I had a lead-in episode, and then I had a interview that I did with a college student, and then we went into the 5 cryptids that I picked for the entire month, including Halloween night of the series. I was really pleasantly surprised by just how much you guys were into what I was talking about. There were no naysayers. And we've even loosened up a few tongues in our group. So, you know, who knows what kind of stories will come in the future. But it lets me know that I'm moving in the right direction, and it makes me excited because, guys, if you can't tell by the way I've talked and done in this series with editing and, you know, the enthusiasm that I've shown for it, I really, really enjoy this topic. I really do enjoy it. I enjoy everything about it. And we haven't even scratched the surface. That's what's so cool. And I said this in one of the other videos, one of the episodes, that there's 3 years worth of content. Every state has a cryptid in it. And then that's not even counting all the paranormal stuff. That's not even counting all the ufology stuff. We're just talking about cryptids right now, and I'm saying there's 3 years worth of content just on cryptids. But now at some point I will venture out of just North America. I have talked about this in the past. I will go to other countries. Of course, Australia has the Yowie. We will dive into the Yowie Yahoo. Tibet has the Yeti. So there's plenty of cryptids out there. Now, some of them, you know, some of them are going to seem a little outlandish. Some of them are going to seem a little far-fetched. But again, all I can do is present for your consideration what I have presented to me. So if you look at it in that sense, a lot of the time I'm just the middleman. So don't shoot the messenger, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But it's just interesting, guys. I mean, it's an interesting subject. It's a wide-reaching subject, and it's a subject that you can say, what if? And that, to me, can never be discounted, is the what if factor. But yeah, there it is, guys, the North Georgia Bigfoot. I hope you have enjoyed what I brought you in this episode. And again, that episode of Finding Bigfoot is on YouTube for free. You can watch it for free, and then of course you can go down another rabbit hole from there. But yeah, I just wanted that one to be our lead-off opening episode for our continuing series of cryptids in North America. Because as I said, I am going to be making this regular part of the Rolling with T-Bone lineup. It won't all be cryptids, but by and large, a lot of the, especially during the winter time, so there's going to be more cryptid. This is the cemetery I was telling y'all about that my dad would not walk past at night. This is the Crestlawn Cemetery. I don't know what happened to my dad here. I don't know what he saw or what he heard, but my dad was terrified of that particular cemetery. He was terrified of it. Me, I've slept in it. So cemeteries don't bother me. The dead can't bother you. The living you gotta worry about. But guys, there it is. I am going to say we've got us a new cryptid episode to premiere. Like I said, this one should premiere on Veterans Day, or maybe after. I don't know. I'll just have to look at how it's scheduled. But you know, until there is definitive proof, I'll just say definitive proof, until a body is found or bones are found, or you know, one walks out on the road and gives an interview to a passerby, there's always going to be debunkers and naysayers. What I'm trying to do is just present it in a way that seems authentic, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, man, deep into November now, guys, not long. I want to wish y'all, in case I don't get a video out or I don't see y'all, I want to wish y'all a very happy Thanksgiving upcoming. R1 and I, on November the 22nd, will be celebrating 27 years, I think. 27 or 20, it's 27. I think 27 years of marriage. So November's kind of a special month for us. I love Thanksgiving. Then before you know it, we'll be celebrating New Year's. Man, that's coming up quick. But I'll tell you what, guys, thank y'all for continuing to support and go along with me on this journey. I have noticed, as far as channel information goes, our views are down, which that's normal. You know, if I was, and that's why I say I try to stay humble with it. I'm not no superstar, I'm not no legend, I'm just a guy on a motorcycle with a camera. I'm not no special nothing. If I was, I'd have thousands of subscribers and, you know, would be just over the moon. But I am good where I'm at with what I've got, because we have a core group of people here who are always here. They always turn up for the videos, they always comment, they always interact with our community, and for that I am truly thankful. I really am. But yeah, man, I'll tell you what, guys, it's kind of chilly out here. I know I got my gauntlets on, I got me a lighter jacket on. It's according to the old telephone, it's 66 degrees and it's been windy all day. But tell you what, guys, I think I'm going to drop this episode off right here. Thank y'all for remembering to like, comment, share, and remember to stay all the way through to the end of the video, because you will see the logo at the end for Forgotten Angels. But guys, until the next time, y'all jump out there in the woods and get me some cryptids on camera. But that's a tall order. Oh, he only wants us. You only want us to go get Bigfoot on camera for you. That ain't no big deal. Oh, but guys, until the next time, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And hey, thanks for watching.